Chapter 24. The front door opened. "I'm here," Tree's father shouted. "We're upstairs, Dad." Dad took the stairs 3 at a time. "We've got to get out fast. Pop, can you move?" "Slowly. Sorry to be a bother." "You're no bother. Tree, hold him under the arm." Tree did. The 2 men trying to carry a third. Too much confusion. "I've got him, Dad. Grandpa, just hold on." Tree bent down, slung Grandpa over his shoulder, felt his muscles sag under the weight. "I feel like I'm in Vietnam again." Sirens louder. Dad grabbing food, boots, coats. "In the car, come on. We've got to beat it." Rain lashing outside, wind railing. Tree, scared, frozen. How could a flood be coming when they hadn't seen it yet? There wasn't time to go back, to get more clothes, anything important. Tree thought of his tools and his books and his computer. In the car, Tree remembered Bradley. "I've got to get Bradley!" Tree ran back into the house as the sirens grew louder. He found Bradley scared half to death in his room, carried him to the car. Dad trying to drive up the hill, not easy with the sloshing. Tree looking forward, looking back at the house and wondering what, if anything, would be left. Bradley lay as still as Tree had ever seen him. The car didn't seem like it could make it up the hill, started sliding. Grandpa, "Okay, steadier to the left. Crawl it up. That's right. Just loose the clutch bit. Ram her forward now." Inch by inch they slipped, up the muddy hill. Buses, cars making the track, packed with scared people. For some reason, Tree thought of the photo of his parents laughing. He wished he'd grabbed it. He buried his face in Bradley's fur. "Good dog," Tree said. "That's a good dog." It's hard to understand the power of nature when it's unleashed on you like that. Man can walk on the moon, orbit Mars, and cure so many diseases, but no one can stop a raging river once it decides to flood its banks. At the middle school, a policeman at the door told Tree the impossible. "No animals in the school, son, I'm sorry." The brain kept to the football field. "But he'll be scared." "They've got some tents. It's the best we can do right now. We've got to get the people inside." Lightning crashing, rain falling sideways. Bradley shaking like he's going to explode. A volunteer fireman asked Tree if he wanted to leave Bradley with him. He'd get him to the shelter. "No, I'm taking him myself." Tree looked pleadingly at his father, who was helping Grandpa inside. He gave the fireman Bradley's leash. "Can you hold him just a minute?" Tree helped Dad get Grandpa into the gym. They got him settled. Dad took Tree aside. "I don't think I've told you how much help you've been with Grandpa. I don't know what I would have done without you." "Thanks, Dad. That means a lot." More people were streaming in. People shouting if anyone had seen so-and-so as the lightning flashed outside and the thunder sounded like a nightmare. Tree looked up at Eleanor Roosevelt's words carved below the basketball hoop. "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Grandpa was doing his best to help the people around him, like the little girl crying for her mother. Her father kept telling her that Mama was going to be coming through that door any minute, but the little girl kept crying anyway. "Well, darling," said Grandpa, "what color hair does your mother have?" "Brown," the child sniffed. "And what's her name, other than Mommy?" Small voice. "Carol." "I just happen to know a story about a mother with brown hair named Carol who got stuck in a flood, but she was so smart she helped a dozen people to safety." Little girl's eyes were wide. "You want me to tell you that story?" "Yes." "I've got to take Bradley over to the field, Dad. I want you right back." Tree ran out the door. Bradley was cowering near the fireman's feet. "It's okay, boy, it's okay." Tree tugged on the leash. Bradley dug his heels in, wouldn't move. Tree bent down to pick him up, saw Mr. Cosgrove walking fast, wearing a big slicker, carrying a flashlight. That's when Tree got the idea, as clear and clean as taking apart a laser pen. "Mr. Cosgrove, could we keep some animals in the basement in those storage rooms?" Mr. Cosgrove stopped, looked at Bradley. He thought for a moment, then motioned Tree to the back door. "Thanks." Tree picked up Bradley, carried 74 pounds of old, wet dog through the darkened hall. Mr. Cosgrove unlocked the storage room. "Put those newspapers on the floor and pray we don't get caught." Tree pictured the vet's office with all those animal cages. If they had cages, they could have more animals in the basement. Tree looked around the big room. They had lots of tall steel file cabinets. He opened some big drawers. They were empty and deep, almost like cages. But he'd need a top so the animals could breathe and not get out. A loud siren blasted in the distance. Mr. Cosgrove and Tree ran upstairs. More people were pouring in. Dad walked over. "We need to stay together." Tree told him about Bradley in the basement. "He'll be all right, Tree. The little boy let out a huge wail. "But they'll drown. They can't be outside. They can't." His father was holding a cage with 2 white rabbits. Tree whispered to Mr. Cosgrove, "They've already got a cage." "Do you know what a pension is?" Mr. Cosgrove snapped. "Sort of." Tree knew it involved money. "Do you know what this could do to my pension?" The little boy was crying hard. "Just the rabbits and the dog, no more." Tree carried the rabbits downstairs, but told Bradley he had 2 roommates. Told the rabbits this is the greatest guard dog in the universe. The rabbits looked on, unconvinced, as Bradley slept. "Tree!" Mr. Cosgrove was holding McAllister, who looked like he'd been drowned 9 times. "Some woman said this cat can't stay on the field. It's too sensitive." McAllister shook, hissed. "Tree, I can make a cage for him if we have some chicken wire." "I've got that." Deep hissing. Mr. Cosgrove deposited wet, crabby cat in Tree's arms. Bradley opened one eye. No, Bradley. Bradley rose, barking. Bradley, no. McAllister arched his back, big meow. You guys have to get along. But certain animal ways are bigger than floods.